Hello, this is the Trade Site Forex Market Preview and International Economic Data Roadmap for the week beginning Sunday, the 22nd of April, and ending Friday, the 27th. Hope you had a good trading week. Here's a look at the dollar index daily chart. Got a little movement Thursday, Friday to the upside finally. Still stuck in a range, though. We haven't been anywhere since the beginning of the year, essentially. So hopefully that'll shake free at some point in time. You watch the green static trend line. That's resistance, obviously. And then, if not, a breakdown to lows the other way would be interesting as well. Euro dollar, just the inverse. You can see the 13 sell signal back in January. That was the top. We haven't gone anywhere since then. It's really been boring for Forex. Pound made a little bit of a move. Didn't quite get the 13 sell signal. Got to 12, but sold off pretty sharply this week. The money was made for sure in the pound. Euro, yen, not a lot there. Aussie dollar heading towards cracking recent lows. A little breakdown potential there. Pound yen came back a bit. Pound Swiss came off the highs, and the New Zealand dollar still stuck in a narrow range. Let's look at the intra-week action. 30-minute candles, high to low on the euro dollar was only 140 pips or so, really less than that even with a little tail. So it was not a very interesting week. And of course, if you take out Friday, the whole first 4 days of the week was an 80 pip range. So 80 pips of movement when usually we trade 130 per day on the euro dollar. Pound, on the other hand, high to low is more like 400 pips. So that was a little more interesting, or 350 at least. But again, we made money on the pound. What can you say? But the euro was not very exciting. All right, so let's take a look at what's coming out in the week ahead, and then see if there's anything we need to be aware of. So on Sunday, we've got Japan's got the flash manufacturing PMI. New Zealand's got credit card spending. On Monday, we've got French, German, and broad European flash manufacturing and flash services PMI data. Wholesale sales out of Canada at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. In the U.S., we've got flash manufacturing PMI and flash services PMI. Existing home sales out of the U.S. at 10, and CB leading index out of Australia at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Going into Monday night, we've got visitor arrivals out of New Zealand, SPPI out of Japan, CPI out of Australia. Japan's core CPI number going into Tuesday. Trade balance out of Switzerland. German IFO business climate. Public sector net borrowing out of the UK. Belgian NBB business climate out of Europe. Got the housing price index here in the U.S. at 9. Got consumer confidence here in the U.S. along with new home sales, and the Richmond manufacturing index at 10. Going into Wednesday, New Zealand and Australia are on some kind of bank holiday. We've got also Italy's on a bank holiday. All industries activity out of Japan. Credit Suisse economic expectations in Switzerland. CB leading index out of China. The crude oil inventories here in the U.S. Import prices going into Thursday out of Australia. German consumer climate, Spanish unemployment rate, high street lending out of the UK, and CBI realized sales out of the UK. We've got a rate announcement out of the bank of the ECB, the European Bank. That's at 7:45 a.m. Eastern Time Thursday morning, so be aware of that. Durable goods, unemployment claims, and goods trade balance here in the U.S. Preliminary wholesale inventories here in the U.S. A lot of data at 8:30 on Thursday. Natty gas at 10:30. We've got the trade balance out of New Zealand. The UK's got their consumer confidence. Tokyo core CPI, unemployment rate. Preliminary industrial production and retail sales out of Japan at 7:50 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday. PPI out of Australia. Bank of Japan has their rate announcement going into Friday. And then housing starts out of Japan. French flash GDP. German import prices. The nationwide housing price index out of the UK. Japan does their press conference from their rate announcement. French consumer spending and preliminary CPI. Spanish flash CPI and flash GDP. German unemployment change. Preliminary GDP out of the UK. And then here's a big one, advanced GDP here in the U.S. Now, this is a once a quarter number. It's the first look at gross domestic product here in the U.S. from the first quarter. So this is the big one. They'll re-announce it next month with an adjustment, and then the following month they'll get the final number. But this one's the first one, first look, and we'll see what we get. And that can move the market, so be aware of that. University of Michigan sentiment. So we'll be half size ahead of that advanced GDP. And there's quite a bit of data coming out for the week, so maybe we'll find some action hopefully here in Forex and get things moving a bit. Charts, as usual, brought to you by eSignal. If you've not yet taken the trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple weeks. Have a great trading week.